In today's session, we are going to discuss the summary of week 3.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt. Can I ask you one thing?
Yes.
Ma'am, I have a problem regarding that virtual machine login. Can you just solve it?
At the end of the session, we will solve it.
Okay.
First, let me discuss the week 3 content. So, at the end, we will solve the virtual machine.
Okay.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Okay. So the week 3, the contents of the week 3 are, so the main one is how to combine the different commands and input output redirections, and how to install a software into your Linux software into your system, and Linux process management, how to do process management in Linux. So those are the topics that we are going to discuss today. So the first one is how to combine the commands and files. Okay. So to combine the commands, we have a multiple options. One of the option is using a semicolon. Say first command, semicolon, second command, semicolon, third command, semicolon, like that. You can give multiple commands so that each of these commands will be executed one after another. Okay, those commands gets executed one after another. Say for example, so suppose you have a ls command, what it will do, it will list out the contents of a directory. So for example, let me create some files. Okay, so ls will list out the contents of my directory. So what are the different files and subdirectories in my home directory. And say for example, the date command will display the system date, and say wc command will count the number of lines in the given directory. Okay, say suppose
Ma'am, ma'am, your voice is breaking.
F1. So anyhow, file name
No
you
voice
need
is coming.
No, there are people in the
to give.
comment section. They are saying that voice is breaking.
So we don't have. Yeah, I am not speaking. Wait. Hello, is it okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Better.
madam.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay,
madam.
ma'am.
Okay. Suppose if you have a commands like ls is one of the command. So ls semicolon. So date is another command. Okay, comma. Hello, hello, ma. Hello,
Yes, ma'am.
hello.
You're audible. It's just
Yeah,
that,
audible, ma'am. But it was
yeah, in
breaking in
between it
between.
breaks here and there.
Okay, let me log out and come back again. Wait.
Anyone knows what is the agenda for today's session? Week 3 or week 2 only?
Week 3.
Okay.
Sir, WC minus L, what it stands for, sir? Can anyone tell me, please? WC minus L.
Number of lines.
Number of lines. Thank you.
Word count.
Hello.
Yes, madam. Okay, madam.
You're audible. You're audible.
So today's agenda is summary of the week 3 contents. So first topic is we are going to see the combining, how to combine the commands, how to combine the different commands. Okay, so one of the technique to combine the commands is using semicolon. So the first command semicolon, second command semicolon, third command, like that you can give multiple commands separated by semicolon. So when you give the commands like this, it will execute these commands one after another in sequence. Okay, say for example, if we are using a command called say ls will list out the contents of the directory, and a date command, it will display the content, today's date, today's system date, and wc command will count the number of lines in the given file. Okay, say for example, the etc directory, we are taking the profile file. So what happened here, ls, the output of ls is, see, it has shown the directory contains 2 files, f1 and f2, it has displayed that. Next it has displayed the date command. So this is the date, and this file contains 27 lines, so it has displayed the count of those lines in that file. So all the commands are executed one after another. Say for example, if we have a some mistake, we made some mistake in any of these commands. Say for example, okay, so ls and the contents of this directory, there is no directory with the name blah, so it has displayed an error, cannot access blah, or no such a file or a directory. Even though our first command is failed, it will execute the second and the third commands. So second command is date and the third command is ls, so it has displayed correctly. Okay, so if any one of these commands fails also, the other commands will execute one after another. So that is one way to combine the commands, multiple commands. Okay, whereas another way to combine the commands is command 1 and command 2. So when you combine more than one command with AND operator, what happens is, if the first command is successful, then only it will execute the second command. Okay, if both the commands are successful, then only it will execute the third command, like that. So if the first command, so command 2 will be executed only when the command 1 is success. Otherwise it won't execute the command. Like the logical AND operator here. So when the whole thing will be true, only when each individual value is true, then only the whole thing will be true. So if the first command is success, then it will execute the second command. If both the commands are executed successfully, it will show you the output. Okay. Say for example, so let me take ls and date commands. So ls command executed successfully. So that's why it is able to execute even the date command. So first command followed by the second command is executed. Suppose if the first command fails, suppose ls, I am displaying the contents of blah and date command. Okay, so as there is no directory called blah, so it will raise an error. So when the first command fails, it won't execute the second. So it has not executed the date command also. Okay, so the second command will be executed only when the first command is successful. Suppose if you combine 3 commands with and, when the first 2 commands are successful, then only it will execute the third command, like that. Okay. Suppose if you combine the commands using OR operator, logical OR operator. So if the first command is true, that means first command is successful, it won't execute the second command. Okay. So second command will be executed only when the first command is failed. So it is something like logical OR. So in the logical OR, any one of the condition must be true to get the overall output to be true. So if the first one itself is true, there is no need of checking the other one. So that's why it won't execute the second command when the first command is successful. Okay. So when the second command will be executed only when the first one fails, then it will execute the second command. Okay. Say for example, ls or date. So ls executed successfully, so it won't execute the date command. Okay, when the first command is successful, it won't execute the second one. Suppose if the first command fails, then it will execute the second command. So because this ls blah directory is not there, so it won't, the first command is failed. So then it will execute the second one. So the second command is the date command. So it has shown the date. It has shown the date correct. So like that you can combine multiple commands. You can combine multiple commands either using semicolon. So in this case, it will execute all the commands one after another in sequence. And you can combine the commands using and. So in this case, it will execute command 2 only when the command 1 is successful. You can also combine the commands using R. So the second command will be executed only when the first command is failed. Okay. And while executing the commands, you can also execute them in the current shell or in a subshell. Say for example, if this is the command I am going to execute, if we put them in a bracket, if I put this command in a bracket, okay, so it will automatically create a subshell. Inside the subshell, it will execute this command. Okay, so how we will know that is for the current shell or the parent shell, the subshell value will be 0. Bash underscore subshell value will be 0. Whereas for the subshell 1, it will be 1. So it will show the subshell number if you give echo $. So this is an environment variable. It will display the subshell, in which subshell you are running the command. Okay. So for the main shell, bash shell, yes.
Ma'am, a question here. Whenever we combine a set of commands in bracket, that becomes a subshell, is it?
Yes. That's only I'm saying. So if echo, if I say bash underscore subshell, so it will show you the shell in which shell you are for the main shell, the subshell bash underscore subshell value will be 0. Okay. Suppose if we execute the same command with brackets. So a subshell will be created from here, and there it will execute that command. So to know that, you can use this. If I use a parenthesis, so here bash underscore subshell value is 1 now. That means it has created a subshell, another shell, and in that it has displayed this value. Suppose if I put 2 brackets. Okay, wait. What is the mistake?
Madam, can you try the space, removing the space between hello and echo?
Add a column.
Yeah, semicolon.
Are you trying to create subcells?
Yes, yes.
Then echo, yeah, the bash subcell, all capital, I guess.
See here, this ls and echo hello is created in first subshell, whereas this command is executed in the second subshell. So we will get the output as, see here, 2 bash subshell. That means it has created one. First 0 is for the main shell. So inside the main subshell, I have created one first subshell. That is, in that subshell we have executed ls and echo hello, and again I have created another subshell. So in the second subshell we have created, we have displayed the bash subshell value. So for the main shell it is 0. Here it will be 1. Whereas when executing this command, it will create another subshell. So for that subshell, the ID value will be 2. Okay. Or even you can display here this value. Suppose if we display the same thing here. So here you will get 1. Here you will get 2. Okay. So for this echo command, we got a subshell value as 1, whereas for this, we'll get the subshell value as 2. So when you put something in a parenthesis, it will automatically create subshells under the current shell. Okay.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
Whenever I'm practicing on the terminal and everything, I write a lot of commands.
Yeah.
So what happens is that I want to save it somewhere, or maybe for later reference, because I'm trying a lot of commands. So it
Yeah,
might
you
have...
write it in a shell script. So in the last class, we discussed the vi command now. So you write in one shell script, and then you can execute that shell script so that whatever the commands that you have stored will be stored in that file. So you create it like a file. Say for example, f1 dot file 1 dot with the sh extension. If you give with the dot sh extension, it will create a shell script. So here you give your commands, whatever commands that you want to give, you type it here. Okay, so there, then you save them, and you want to execute whether those commands are working or not. To check out that, first you change.
Madam, how to save it, madam?
Escape colon WQ.
Escape?
Yeah, first you press escape key. Escape. Then
Escape.
colon WQ.
No,
in
no,
the
ma'am.
keyboard, you will have in the left corner, you will have escape button, no?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Yeah.
No,
Press that. After that, colon WQ.
Ma'am, they don't want to save it in a file. He is telling if he has practiced commands in the current terminal, already he has practiced.
Yeah.
How can he save his practice history?
Yeah, you
So there
can
is an option.
You can copy them, and then
No, there is
paste it
directly
into
an
some
option,
notepad.
ma'am. Terminal has a save option. If
Yeah.
his terminal shows file and menu like that, na? File, edit, view.
Yeah.
There is an option there in terminal to save contents.
Sir, I'm not getting that, sir. File and save and all.
You can press tab and check. Sorry, alt.
Okay, sir.
Depends on your terminal also, but
Yes.
generally terminals have that.
Okay, sir.
Okay, you can, otherwise you can do it like that. Whichever commands you want to practice, all those commands you store it into a file and then run that file so that you can check your outputs, and you can also refer those later. Or once you execute, you can directly copy and paste them into some notepad.
Okay. Ma'am, also I'm using WSL, so this J and K keys are not working. It's like the up and down keys are not working for VI editor in that.
It depends on versions also.
Okay.
Sir, you go and click in the place where you want to make some correction. Go and click there. Then it will work, sir.
Okay, so the next concept is file descriptors. So in general, when you want to execute a particular command, that command needs some input, and that command will also produce some output. So generally, a command will take an input from a standard input device. In general, it is a keyboard. Okay, and display its output on a standard output device. In general, it will be a monitor. Whereas when you are executing your command, there is a possibility of getting an error. So the error will be displayed on a standard error device. So the standard error device by default is also a monitor. So by default, the standard input device is your keyboard, and standard output and error device is your monitor. So when you are executing the command, whenever it needs an input, it will read from the keyboard, and the output, it will display it on the monitor. Output or an error, it will display it on the monitor. So these standard input and output and error devices will be named with the streams. So default stream that will be allocated for the standard input device is 0, and the standard output device is 1, and standard error device is 2. Okay, so it will read from the input stream and display it on the execute the command, and output display it on the standard output stream. So default, when you log in into your Linux, so that these three streams will be automatically created by your system itself. Okay, so you can make use of these streams when you are working with the commands. Say, for example, how to redirect these streams. Suppose by default we are displaying the output on monitor. standard output device is monitor, so your output is displaying on monitor. Now you don't want to display your output on a monitor, you want to store the output of your command to a file, a particular file. So then in that case you can use redirection operator. So greater than is nothing but output redirection operator. So see here, by default it will read from input device and then store the output on output device, standard output device. Whereas if you give the command like this, command greater than file1, so it will execute this command. The output of this command will be redirected to file1 instead of monitor. So it is reading the input for this command, it is taking the input from standard input device, and the output it is going to display in a file instead of monitor. Whereas the standard error will be sent it to the monitor. So we'll work out with this one. Say for example, so we have a file1.sh here. So suppose you want to see the contents of file1.sh. You want to see the contents of file1.sh. So we use a cat command. So the contents of this file are ls and date. Now instead of, so where it is, it has displayed, it displayed the contents of this file on the monitor. So because it is a standard output device, so whenever you execute some command, an output will be displayed on monitor. Now what I want to do is, I don't want to display it on the monitor, I want to redirect that to another file. I want to store the same thing in another file, say file2.sh. Okay, so if I give it like this, so nothing is displayed on the monitor. So that means output of this command is not displayed on the monitor, it is redirected to this file. Now if you see, that file will be created. See, file2 is created. Previously there is no file2. We have only f1, f2 and file1.sh in our directory. Now the file2 is created and you can also check the contents of it. So the same contents what we have, the output of this what we have, the same thing is copied to file2.sh also. Okay, so that means the output it is sending to this particular file, whatever file name we have given, that it will send. Suppose if I say cat file2.sh and a blah. So I am displaying the contents of multiple files at a time. Okay, and this output I am redirecting to, say, f3. This output, what output of this particular command, I am redirecting to a file f3. See, now
what
you
is blah?
check the contents of this f3. See, what is this? What it will do? So it will display the contents of file2.sh as well as another file blah. But blah file is not there in our directory, so it will raise an error. So no such a file or a directory. So that means when you executing this particular command, we got output for file2.sh and for blah file we have an error. So what, according to our assumption, the output whatever you got will be stored in this file1, and error it will send it to the monitor. So error was redirected to monitor. Let me check the contents of f3. See, f3 contains the contents of this. So output is redirected to this file, whereas error is redirected to the monitor. Okay. Suppose if this file already exists, the file name already exists, it will overwrite. It will overwrite it.
Madam, error comes first, then file comes next, then also it is.
Yeah,
it will do like that.
in any case, whatever output you are getting from this command will be stored, redirected to this particular file, whereas error will be redirected to the monitor, because we redirected that only the output. This is output redirection operator, greater than. Okay. Suppose here, if I am while executing this particular command, if I give greater than f, suppose f2. So if the f2 file already exists, say, okay, so this command, what it will do, it will override the content. Previous contents of this file will be erased and new content will be returned to that file. Okay, say for example, here what we have in F1. Is there anything in F1? Nothing is there. Okay. Let me modify F1. Hello. Just I have written hello. Okay. So now I executed this command F1. Previously I have something in F3. Previously I have, this is the contents of F3. Now this command I am executing. So if I see check the F3 value, see previous content were erased and now the new content of F1 is copied into F3. So if this file is already exists, it will overwrite it. Suppose I don't want to overwrite it, you can append it when you use double greater than. Okay. Suppose if we use double greater than, here if you use double greater than, if this file already exists, it will the new content, the new output, whatever you are getting from this command will be added to the end of this file if you use double arrow. Okay. So if you check the now contents of F3, so the previous content of F3 is hello. The new content file1.sh file contains these commands. So those commands are added to the end of this file F3. Okay. So that is the double greater than. So if you give a single greater than, it will overwrite if the file already exists. If file 1 exists, it will be overwritten. If it doesn't, file doesn't exist, it will create. In this also, if file doesn't exist, it will create. If it exists, it will append the contents to the previous one. Next, see this command. Now I am redirecting 2 greater than file 1. What the 2 means, the 2 file descriptor indicates standard error device. Okay. So that means you are redirecting the error to file 1. In the previous previous 2 cases, we have not mentioned any stream, whether it is input or output, nothing, no stream is specified here. By default, greater than means output stream. So std out stream, it is same as a 1 greater than file 1. Okay. So if you specifically specify the stream, see here, the stream is 2. What is the stream 2? It is nothing but standard error. So your command, when you are executing this particular command, if you got an error, that error you store it into this file 1 instead of monitor. So generally standard error device is also your monitor, but in this time what we are doing, you are redirecting the stream 2 to a file 1. So your command is reading the input from a standard input stream and output it will display on the standard output device, that is monitor, whereas error is redirected to file 1. So that is the meaning of this. Okay, so let me show that example. Okay, suppose the same command we have executed, the same command I am executing. So instead of redirecting the output, I am redirecting
the error.
Error. Okay, 2 greater than F3. Okay, first let me show the contents of F3 and then execute this. Okay. So this is the content of F3, current content of F3. Now what I am doing? 2 greater than F3. So what happens? The output, I am not redirecting the output. Which one I am redirecting? Error. So the output will be displayed on the monitor. So the contents of this file1.sh is displayed on the monitor. Whereas when it is executing the cat blah command, blah is not there. So it will raise an error. That error it will return to this particular file. And I have used a single greater than here. That means this file will be overwritten. The previous content, this whole thing will be erased. And now whatever error I got, that will be stored in F3. So now see the contents of F3. So you have the error. That blah file doesn't exist. Okay. Suppose the same thing if I use double greater than, then what happens? The previous will be there as well as this error will be appended at the end. Okay. So here we are redirecting error file, error to the file. Suppose if I write a command like this. So command greater than file1, what it will indicate? The output is redirected to, output of this command is redirected to file1 and 2 greater than file2. That means error is redirected to file2. So 2 files gets created here, file1 and file2. File1 will contain the output of the command, and file2, if while executing the command, if we have any error, that error will be stored in file2.
And so we can say that 2 is the code, 2 is the it's the code for error for any particular command, is it?
Standard error stream. It is a standard error stream. 2. 1 means standard output stream. 0 means standard input stream. So these 3
Ma'am, I have a question here.
Yeah.
Here, as per the image, it shows standard input. Like keyboard has this value of 0, right? Let's say I attach a mouse as well, and I want to save the file. Means mouse operations also like cut, copy, paste, or whatever. So means like in that case, what will be the value, like 0, 1, 2, 3? How this will change?
First you need to create a stream for your mouse. Like device drivers will be there, no? So you have to first that device driver will have the stream. So that stream name you need to mention here. Okay, like, these are the 3 standard streams that will be created when you load your Linux. Whereas the other streams you need to create them first. Okay. So then you can redirect those device name. Suppose if I say std in, that means standard input device. So like that mouse will also have some name, driver name, stream. Okay. So that stream name you need to mention here to read from that mouse.
String name.
Stream, stream, stream.
Okay, stream.
So it will, your command will read the data from a stream. So
But how
from
do I
which
know?
stream? File stream. If you say file stream, that means it is reading the data from a file.
Okay.
Okay. So if it is, you are saying you want to read from a like a pen drive, suppose. Okay. When you install your pen drive, device drivers of the pen drive, one stream will be created. That stream, which stream it is created, that stream name you need to mention to read from there.
Okay, but how do I know which stream name it is?
I think when you install it, that particular device, it will, I think every device will have an ID. Okay, that ID you need to give it. While installing, you will know that. I think that installation file will contain that ID.
Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, but there is anything that means in the dev directory there is a driver directory, right?
Yeah, I think
There,
every device will have an ID there.
There we can refer always. Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so here what we are doing, this greater than indicates you are redirecting your output to file 1, and this 2 indicates you are redirecting your error to file 2. Okay, so output is stored in file 1, error is stored in file 2. Okay, so that you can also see it here. Cat so file1.sh you redirect it to say F2, and cat 2 you redirect it to F2, and 2 you redirect it to F3, or I'll give another F4. So this command, this is the command. The output of this command we are redirecting to file 2 F2, whereas if we got an error while executing this command, that error we are redirecting to F4. Okay, so now you see the F2. So we got whatever we have in file1.sh, that it is there in the F2, and you see the F4 contents, it will have an error, no blah. Okay, so this is that case. So now this is less than is nothing but an input redirection operator. Okay, so instead of, by default, when you want to execute a particular command, it will read from the keyboard. Standard input device is keyboard, so it will read from the keyboard. Instead of reading from the keyboard, you want to read it from a file. Suppose, for example, you want to read it from this particular file. So for input redirection, we use less than, whereas for output redirection, we use greater than. Okay, so here what I am doing, so this is my file 1. From the file 1, I am reading the input to this particular command. Okay, so now in this particular case, my standard input is file 1. Okay, so from that it will read this command, and the stream, file stream, is redirected to standard input stream, and from there it will read the input. And the output of this, again, we have not mentioned anything about the output here. So the default output stream is monitor. So output and error will be returned to the monitor. Okay.
Ma'am, can you show the demo of that?
Yes. Yes. So suppose if I have a cat F4, so it will show the contents of F4. Anyhow, cat the output of that command itself is different. So even you will get that with like this, the same content it will display. So the cat command is reading the input from a file. Okay. suppose if you say simply cat, it will read from the keyboard, because nothing, we didn't mention anything here. So this command will read the input from keyboard, standard input device. Okay.
Ma'am,
Okay.
even when we just type cat F1, this will
Yeah,
give us the same output, right?
it will show the contents of this file. It will show the
Yes.
contents of this file. Yep. It will give the same, but so this is a simple thing. But when say suppose for example, we have some more sub commands here. Suppose um, like it has a set of commands here. The output of all those, your final output of that, you want to read.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case,
Okay, got it.
it will not be similar to like here we gave us some small simple example. So you are able to see that it is same as cat file name.
Understood, understood. So what you're saying is instead of F1, there could be a command which is
Now, which is giving some output.
correct, correct. Okay,
So that output it will read it.
okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. Okay, it has taken like a
Ma'am,
yeah.
can you do cat less than F2? Okay.
Ma'am,
But I
but it
want
should
to
work
do.
with date as well, no?
Yeah, it should work as date as well. But I think yes, the output of this output means this quote only, no, this quote. Wait, that is a command.
Ma'am, it will take date command, no? Cat less than date.
The output of that should be read by cat. Is it?
Ma'am, we'll have to use pipe between cat and date. But without
In
quote.
that case, output of cat will go to date.
Yes.
We need to read from there. So see, like here we should have, I think, only file, like a device, some particular device we need to have here, a device stream, not the output of this command. So this device stream, like it can be a file, or it can be any other device stream you should have.
Ma'am, we can write a subshell which will create a file and store the date in it, and then it can be interpreted.
Right.
If you want to.
You're saying this?
No, ma'am. I'm saying that first we store date in a particular file, and then we get this cat less than equal to. Then we can like get the date.
Okay. So
And
this will be useful when you are writing a script in general. So you might have a multiple commands previously. The output of all those you might be writing to a particular one. From there you are going to read this value.
Ma'am, can you show us how we can do this? These 2 lines of code in 1 line.
Yeah,
Add
semicolon.
a colon at the last, at the semicolon at the last, and then write the next line. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Or you write it into a shell script and then execute it.
Okay.
You write these 2 commands in each line into a shell script and then run that shell script. Or you can combine these 2 with the semicolon. First it will run this, after that this it will run this.
Ma'am, can we run all these commands in subshell as well?
Yes, yes. Okay. So the next concept is very, very important concept. You see, suppose if I write something like this, cat f1 greater than f2, 2 greater than f2. Suppose what I want to do it here is, I want to redirect my output as well as error to the file f2, to the same file. I want to redirect my output as well as my error stream both to the same file f2. Okay, then what happens here? Always the error comes first. Always the error comes first. So it will write the error to the f2 file. After that you will get the output of something else if you got. Then while writing that output, it will override the error previously that was written. Okay, say for example, I gave like this, cat f1 blah. So there is some content in f1 that it will store it in f2. Whereas when it is executing a blah, so you will get an error. So that first it will always, when you are executing, the error will comes first and then output will comes next. So first you will get the output. That output it will be written to someone has on your mic. Please switch off. Okay. So first error will comes. That error it will store in f2 first. So later you will get the output of f1. That again when you are going to redirect to f2, the previous error will be overwritten and only you will get the output of f1 in f2. So if I execute this command, you check out what happens. Cat f1. Okay, but what we want is both the output as well as the error you want to store it in f2. Okay, so in such a case this will be helpful. Command greater than file1. So what it will do, the output of this command will be written to this file1, and 2 greater than and 1. That means what it will do is, first error comes. So first error will be written to an output stream. Error will be written to an output stream, and then the output stream will be written to file1. So in that case, you will get both. See here. This command, the same command I am giving. Instead of f2, what I am saying? And 1. Okay. Now if you say cat f2, see, output is hello and error. Both were redirected to the same file. So what happened here? The error is redirected to output stream, and then later the output stream is redirected to file. Okay, so first when an error comes, it will be written to stream 1, and the output of stream 1 again. So after getting the output, both the previous stream content and now whatever you have, that it will be written to F2. So in that case, you will get both the outputs.
Ma'am, in
Here,
this
why is
command, hello.
error in the second line, ma'am?
Yes, blah, when it is cat F1 will have a content. If this file exists, so it is able to output the stream, whereas blah is not there, so it will raise an error. So that
So
error,
it's written in second line, right? But why second line? You said that error will always come first.
okay, while executing the command, you how it will work is suppose if you append instead of
My main question was that only, like we can directly append also, right? Rather than overwriting, we can append. So in that case, the second command that you showed, will it still be valid? It's like, what is the use in that
yes,
case?
first error comes and then the output comes here in this case. So wait.
Yes.
I'll show you. Suppose if we write it like this, you are saying if you write it like this.
Basically, yes.
See here what happens.
2 times it wrote.
Yeah.
Why?
You're appending, no?
Ma'am, we already have that from the previous command.
Yes. F2 has this one. Now again it has appended the same.
Ma'am, but the error is not coming first, ma'am. I think in the standard output is first.
Okay. No. So in this is the same. This is the same as
it will execute from left to right, right?
Hmm.
First, leftmost command will be executed first. Then
Ma'am, can we just interchange the order and then see what happens?
blah and F1.
Ma'am, first giving the standard error, then giving the output.
Wait, first let me remove F2. Now let me try. You are saying blah first. You give me blah
Yes,
first.
First blah and then F1.
Okay.
Yes,
so the same order it has executed. First error and then contents of the file. Okay. So in the previous case also, let us have 2 greater than. So we'll see F3 instead of F2. Okay. So here also the same. No, the reverse. So in this case, first error came and then content. Whereas in this case, first output and then error. You got it in a reverse order.
Ma'am, I think
maybe because of this single greater than. Here also if we give append, suppose, blah.
Yeah, ma'am, here the error came first, but in previous case the standard output was first.
Already F4 contains something, I think. Let me remove F4 and then. Okay. Error comes first and then output. In this case, error comes first and then output. Whereas in this case, also same. Error came first and then output. Both will be same. Okay. Append.
Ma'am, the one which is below that, ma'am, not that one. cat just above cat F3, ma'am. The last cat F3. Yeah, that one gave the.
Here I gave a single greater.
So the standard output was first.
First and then appended the error.
Yes.
So the main here is this and symbol indicate that you are writing the error stream to the same stream of your one standard output device. Okay, so whichever stream the standard output is pointing to the same stream you write your error also. That is the meaning of this. Okay, so it is a very important concept. Generally you'll get a bits on this in the quizzes and end terms.
Madam.
Yeah.
Command greater file 2 greater than and 1. It means it will go to file 1, madam.
Yeah, both error and output goes to file 1.
No, madam, file 2. You will make it 2 here.
Okay. In that case, both error and output will go to file 2.
Here, even if you make 1 here and 1.
Here and 1.
Here, madam, after 2 and 1.
2 greater than and 1.
And yes. 1. Then also it will go to file 2.
File 2.
There, meaning of 2 is the standard error.
Here,
and
the meaning of 2 is standard error. You are redirecting the standard error to and 1 means standard output. First error will goes to standard output, and that standard output it goes to the file 2.
Okay.
So this is much secure way to do it.
Yeah,
right?
much secure way to do. Okay. Now, pipeline symbol or piping. So how the piping will work is the output of this. So multiple commands we have combined with the pipe symbol. This is called a pipe symbol. Previously we have used R symbol. There you'll have 2 pipes. So this single one indicate it is a pipe symbol. So the output of this command 1 will goes as an input to the command 2. Okay, output of the previous command goes as an input to the next command. Like that it will go in step by step. Suppose if I say another pipe and command 3. So the output of command 2 goes to input of command 3. Like that, for the output of the last command, it will goes to the standard output device. See, this command 1 reading the input from your keyboard, and the output of this, it is going to input of command 2. It is going to the input of command 2, and the output of the last command, it will go to standard output device, that is monitor. Okay.
So this is composition, like function composition.
So piping means when you combine more than one command with piping, it will go like this. Output of command 1 will go to input of command 2, and the output of command 2 it will go to it as an input to the next command, say command 3. Like that, the output of the last command will go to the standard output device. If it is monitor, monitor. If it is a file, file. Okay, by default, monitor. Say for example, so what this command will do, it will count the number of lines in this particular file. Okay. So wait, sorry. Say file so file 1 contains actually 3 lines. One is ls, another is a date, another is a blank line. It contains, so total 3 lines are there in a file 1.sh. So I am taking this output, pipeline to wc command, wc -l. So it will take this file output of this file as input to wc command. So it will show 3. So this displays these 3 lines will be displayed, and that is taken as an input by this particular command. So in the input it has 3 lines, so it has displayed 3. So like that, pipeline symbol, this pipeline will act like passing the stream, output of one stream, it will pass it as input to the another command. Okay. So like that, you can pipe it in multiple steps so that the output of last will goes to the standard output device.
Madam, what is the difference between pipe and greater, madam?
Greater means output of this will be stored in this, will be stored here. Whereas pipe means the output of this is given as an input to this particular command. Input. So it is reading the input from here.
Okay.
Wait. So whereas sometimes when you are working with some projects or something, so we don't want to show, because when an error comes, then in general you'll have an abnormal termination of something or like that. So you don't want to show the errors on the screen. You want to execute your command like a clear, in a clear cut. You don't want to show any errors while executing. So in that case, while executing, if you have any error, you ignore it. To say that we redirect the error to a device null. So /dev/null indicate that if you redirect your error to this particular file, so it will ignore it. Okay, so it will discard, simply say it will discard the error. It will discard the error. Yes?
Where to write this means, does it create a new directory or what?
No need of create your command greater than file 1. Your error you redirect it to this file /dev/null. So that while executing this particular command, if you have any error, that error will be ignored. It won't store it anywhere. It will discard that error. Okay. So only output will be shown. Say for example, previous thing, same will take cat f1 file1.sh blah greater than f5 2 greater than /dev/null. Okay, so while executing this particular command, we have error as well as the output of file1.sh. So the output of file1.sh, it will return to f5 file f5, whereas whatever error you got, that will be discarded. Okay, so if you see f5, so you have that. So but error will not be stored anywhere. Okay,
Ma'am,
yeah,
but what is that /dev/n? It will not goes into the null. Means that's a nullify, right?
this indicates that nothing is there. You discard it. To say to
Then
discard
why
it.
we have to do that? Means what is the use case of that? Why we did?
When you are running a big applications and all, you don't want to show the there might be some minor errors which can be ignored. Such errors can be ignored. In such a cases, instead of showing such errors, you just discard those errors while executing this. To say that we use this.
Okay, got it, ma'am. Thanks.
Madam,
Yeah.
if there is a directory with dev,
Directory?
DEA, if already exists a directory with DEV,
Yes.
then one file was there, some F1 file.
Yes.
Then how it will how it will react, madam?
I didn't get you. Hello? DEV is a directory, device directory.
Yeah, you have one device directory and file one is there in that.
No problem.
Then also it will work, madam?
Yeah. If you specify this as a redirection, whatever you are redirecting here will be discarded.
Okay.
Ignored, you can say. Okay. Now, next command is T command. So what the T command will do is, generally when you are using a pipeline, there might be, say, suppose you are using the pipeline for more than one level. Say, for example, command 1, pipeline, command 2, pipeline, command 3, like that you have used for pipeline symbol for more than one level. What output you are getting? Only the output of the final command you are getting on the screen. Okay, but there are cases where you want to store your intermediate results also. Maybe like command 1, pipe command 2, pipe command 3, pipe command 4 we have given, but we are able to see only the output of command 4 at the end. But after command 2, what happened also you want to store the intermediate result of after what happened after command 2. So in such a cases, if you after command 2, if you give a T command and a file name, so it will store the output of this particular command into this file, as well as it will store display that on the monitor also. Okay, say for example, okay, CMD1 pipeline, CMD2 pipeline, CMD3 pipeline, CMD4. So what happened? Output of command 1 will be given as input to this command. The output of this command, it will be given as input to this command. The output of command 3 will be given as input to command 4. And after executing command 4, whatever output you got, that will be sent to standard output device. Okay. So, but what I want is here, after command 2, whatever output I got, that I want to store it in file 1 as well as I want to pass the output of this command 2 as well as I want to store that in file 1 as well as I want to pass that to command 3 also. So in that case, we can use a T command to store the intermediate results, we can say. Suppose if this is the last command, if you say, suppose if this is the last command, T is the last command, then what happens is the last command output, it will store it in file 1 as well as it will print it in the standard output device. Okay. So this will do the redirection as well as that will store that in the file specified also. Okay. So let me show this. Suppose this is the previous command that we have executed. Cat file1.sh pipeline wc minus L. So what it has done, how many lines are there in this file is displayed on the monitor. So now what I did is T F5. I gave it like this. So that means first the output of this file, T F5 means what it will do? It will store the contents of this file in F5 and also redirect that to this command also. Whatever I have the output of this, it will store it in F5 as well as that output it will redirect to this command also. So if I run this, see, after that if you check the F5, what you'll have? The same contents, the same output of this particular file. Okay. Whereas suppose if I gave the same command here, instead of here, suppose I gave it here like this. Now, if you see F5, it will store the output of this command. So the output of this, it will give it to this, and the output of this, it will store it in this file as well as that output, it will send it to the monitor also. So monitor also you have 3, and in the file also it will store. So the T command will store the intermediate results. Have you got it? So that is about redirections. Now let me discuss.
Ma'am, I have a question about the T command. So does it have to be before, let's say if it's command 1 piped to command 2, then T file 1 and then pipe to command 3. That means command 2 will be
output of command 2 will be stored in file as well as redirected to command 3.
And then what if it was command 1 pipe T file 1? Does that and then command 2, like the order of that, does it make a problem or is it okay? It will be the same.
It will be a problem. Like intermediate, like command 1 output is given to T, like stored in file, as well as send it to output device also.
Okay. So it has to be like, if I want to store command 2, then it should be command 2 T file 1.
Yeah.
And if, like,
After command 2, you have to write T.
Okay. And if it was command 1 pipe T command 2, command 1 pipe T file 1, command 2 pipe command 3, then it would store command 1's output.
It will store command 1 output in file, as well as the output of command 1, it will send to command 2 also.
Okay. Got it.
If it is the last one, T is the last one, then it will store the output in that file as well as redirect to output device, monitor.
Yeah.
Whereas if that is a middle one, somewhere in the middle, then the output of the previous command, it will store it in that file, and that output again, it will send it to the next command.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
And first, let me discuss the Linux process management concept. Then we will, at the end, we will discuss that software management, how to install and all, because we cannot able to demonstrate here the installation and all, because to install the software in VM, you should have a sudo user permission. So even my login doesn't have a sudo user permission. So just theoretical only, I'll be able to cover the installations and all. Whereas Linux process management, I'll demonstrate it. Okay. Suppose when you create a particular process, like how to process is nothing but a program in execution. While your program is in the running state, that we call it as a process. So when the process is running, we can perform like what resources it is making use of, and like you can do some operations on it. Okay. So to demonstrate that, like when the process is executing, how to manage that particular process. So to demonstrate that, first we need to create some process. So the simple way to create a process is using a sleep command. So the sleep will create a process. Say, suppose if I say sleep and some time, say suppose 3 seconds. So if I press an enter, it will create a process and wait. Sleep command will wait for the time specified. Say it will wait for 3 milliseconds, and then after that 3 seconds, and then again you will get, once the 3 seconds is over, you will get your screen. Suppose if I say 10 here, so that means your screen will wait up to 10 seconds. Once the 10 seconds is over, then you will get your prompt. Okay. So what happened here? It is creating a process, and what that process is doing, it is waiting till the specified time is over. Okay. So that will create a simple process. Whereas, so when the process is running, say something like this is a simple one. Suppose if this timer is somewhat longer, 50 or 1000 milliseconds, if you specify. So, or simply you can say, instead of sleep, you are running some process here. That completion, for completing that particular process, it will take, say, half an hour or some more time. So meanwhile, you don't have to do anything. So you want to work out with the other commands, like other tasks. Say, suppose you are given a printout. You are printing something on your printer. So suppose it takes 10 minutes to complete the printing of the whole document. It takes, say, 10 minutes. Meanwhile, you want to work out with the other tasks in your system. Suppose if you only the printing command is executing, so you have to sit idly. instead of sitting ideally till the printing is over, so you want to leave the printer as it is printing, and then you want to work out with another editing of another document. So in such a cases, like printing job doesn't interfere with suppose while printing it doesn't interfere with the user, say. Okay, so instead of sitting idle, the user, instead of sitting idle, he want to work out with another job. So in such a cases, if you give a command like this, if it doesn't give you the terminal, you cannot able to work out with the other command. So while the process is running, you want to get back your terminal. So you have to run that process in a background. You have to run that process in a background. So to run your process in a background, we have a many ways. Suppose while running the process, you want your terminal to come back, we can use a command called coproc, and then run your command. Sleep, say 30 milliseconds. So you coproc sleep. This is the command you are running. So when you give this, what happens is it will create a process. This is the process ID. Meanwhile, you can work out with some commands. You got a terminal, you can work out with the commands. So once this 30 seconds is over, it will intimate you while working. It will intimate you that we have completed this particular process. It will intimate you later when you are so. See here, it has intimated you that this sleep process has been completed, done. Okay, so you will get your while working with another process. When the process is running, if you want to work out with the other tasks or the other process you want to create, then you can get your terminal using a coproc command, or you can run your command in the background. You can run your command in the background. So to run some command in the background, sleep, okay, say 5, you have to give it like this, and symbol at the end of the command. If you give an and symbol, so that this particular process, it will create this process, and that process will run in the background. Okay, so this is the process created, and you can work out. Meanwhile, you can work out with some other command. Once it is finished, it will show you. Okay, so like that, if a process doesn't require the user interaction, so in such a case, you can run parallelly with another processes. So to run that, you can run that particular job in a background. To run in your background, you can run this at the end. If you say and symbol, it will be run in the background. Or if while running a particular process, you want to get back your terminal again, you can use coproc. Okay, so whereas here you can see, suppose you are running some job in the background, okay, and what are the processes that are running in the background? If you want to see the ps command, it will show you all the running processes in the system. So bash shell is running, another process called sleep. Okay, so in this, again in the same bash shell, you have used a ps command. Okay, so it will.
So ma'am, are these processes running separately?
No, all are running in the same shell. This sleep process is one, and this PS is another one. So this is another process. This is another process. Two processes.
And what is the difference between jobs and processes?
Jobs means you can say like when the job is in running state, it is called a process.
Okay.
Like job means like your program. When the program is in running state, then that is called a process. When it is running, executing, that is called a process. Okay. So whereas a jobs command will also show all the process which are running in the background. The jobs command will also show all the jobs that are in the running in the background. Whichever jobs that are running in the background currently, those jobs it will show it. So there is only one job running in the background, that is sleep.
Sleep is running, madam?
Yes, sleep is running. Now it is done, complete. Or I'll show you one more thing. Sleep 30. Okay. That I am running in the background. Sorry. Wait. Sleep 30 is one process which is running in the background.
Madam,
another sleep
30 means it is sleep. It is stopped, no, madam, 30 seconds.
It is running and it will wait up to 30 seconds. It will complete after 30 seconds. Okay. So I have created two processes. One is sleep 30, another process is sleep 45. If I now run a jobs command, so there are two jobs which are running in the background. One is sleep 30, another one is sleep 45. I think 30 seconds is over. So it has shown done, and then this is sleep 45 is in the running state. There are two jobs which are running in the background. Sleep is the simple command to create a process.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Just like we have created another process using sleep 30, right?
Yes.
But if you want to kill that process, then what we should do?
Yeah.
Control
to kill, like when the process is running in the background, you don't want to continue that process. Okay. Suppose you don't want to continue that process, you can able to kill that process. So to kill that process, you can, if you know the like here, suppose if this is the process which is running in the background, so you need to first know the process ID of that process that you want to kill. So you can see the process ID of that process using PS command. So this is the process ID. So you can use a kill command, KILL, kill, -C option, you have to, -9 option with the process ID of the process which you want to kill. Suppose this is the process ID. So simply specify here that process ID so that this particular process will be killed. Okay. Kill space -9 space the process ID of the process that you want to kill. Okay. That I'll demonstrate it now.
Madam, then printing will be stopped, madam?
Yes. Okay. So now currently there are no jobs which are running in the background. There are no jobs that are running in the background. Now I am creating a process which will run for 30 seconds. Okay, in the background, sorry. And that I am running in the background. Okay, so this is the process ID of that particular process. Okay, so if you can even see that using PS command. Okay, so sleep is running. Now you want to kill that. Kill -9. What is the process ID? 2339068. Now you run the PS command. Killed. Okay. This is how to.
What will happen if we use? What will happen if we use bash command, bash process ID to kill?
Like this is nothing but the bash, like where you are running your command. No, this is the bash shell. Okay, this entire thing will be closed. Right? It will be kill means your this VM will be closed.
Ma'am, but ma'am.
Yeah.
But it is not showing the process ID for bash.
This is the process ID of the bash.
Okay. Then, but still it is running, right? Means bash shell
bash
is
will
still...
always run. This prompt
Yes,
is nothing but a bash.
Yes, got it.
Okay, so if you want to kill a particular process, the simple way is using a kill command with -9 option and the process ID of the process which you want to kill. Or you can also kill by using Control-C when it is in the foreground. So suppose if we create a process in the background, okay, you can also bring it to the foreground using FG. FG means whatever the process that is running in the background will again come to the foreground. So when it is running in the foreground, you won't have a terminal. So you have to wait till 30 seconds to get your terminal. Till this process is completed, you have to wait it. Okay. So you don't want to wait. You want to kill that. In that case, you can use Control-C. When the process is running in the foreground and you want to kill it, you can use Control-C. When the process is running in the background and you want to kill it, you can use a kill command with the process ID.
Ma'am, apart from sleep command, can we do some other commands in the background, also run some other commands in the background?
Like for creating a process, that means you have to create one shell script and then run that shell script for a long time. Like a shell script which will run for a long time, you need to create. I think like we cannot create such a process. Like how much big program we write and run, it will be run within a fraction of seconds.
Okay.
Like in real time only you will get your servers when you are using a client server communication programs and all. Okay, so such a servers will run for a long time.
In the background.
They will run in a background. Okay. So okay.
Ma'am, can we check the priorities of the process, ma'am?
Priorities of the processes might be. I have to check out with the command. And another important command is a $-. Another command that we use in process management is $-. So $- will give you the capabilities of your shell. So here we are running some commands, what capabilities your bash shell has, that is displayed using $-. This H means history. Your bash will support a history command. I means interactive. Say something like a history command means it will show all the suppose if I say history, see here all the commands that we have run so far, every command will be shown, like from today's session, even in the previous session, whatever the commands that I have used here, So thousands of commands. I think some long back, maybe from last 30 days, whatever commands that we have used, everything will be displayed like this. Okay. So with one number and then command that we have used. Suppose you want to repeat the same task. You want to repeat the same task. Say, for example, this task you want to repeat. Then you can simply use explanatory mark and that ID. Suppose you want to repeat this particular command. So you can simply say explanatory mark 1516. Then that command will run. Okay, once again it will come. So the history, what the history command will do, history is one of the feature of your shell. So whenever you say history, then it will show all the commands from long back, all the commands will be shown to you. If you want to run any of those commands, you can run it using this ID. Okay, so that is one of the feature.
Madam, where your written history, madam?
Hello?
Where your written history to see those commands?
Where?
Now, how did you got that back commands?
History.
Your written history, okay.
Yes.
Okay, madam. Okay.
Command is history.
Okay, madam. Then you locate that number, madam.
Okay.
Even killed files will be there, madam.
Every command that we have run in this command prompt from last 30 days.
Okay, madam. Okay.
That will be displayed.
Thank you, madam.
Okay. And then H means like echo $. So H, in this H means history command. History feature is available in this shell. I means interactive. Interactive means, say, suppose if you remove something, do you really want to remove? Yes or no? It will ask for the confirmation. No. So like that confirmation, it will support. Interactively, the command will be executed interactively with the user. So something like this. Like all these are, it will display the features of your shell. $- will display the features supported by this particular shell. So whereas B means brace expansion. What is mean by brace expansion? Say for example, echo A ... Z, if you say. So it will start from alphabet A, generate one by one up to Z. See, it will expand these braces. This is the starting value. It will generate one by one value after this up to this value. Say for example, if we say A to H. So starting from A, it will generate one by one up to H. Even you can give numbers also. 1.5. 1 to 5, like that. Okay. That is a brace expansion. Even you can generate something like this, 1 to 5, again 1 to 5. So,
ma'am, that M is for manual. Man pages where.
Man pages.
HIMBHS. That M stands for.
M stands for monitor, job control.
Okay.
B for bracket expansion. H for I think it has a shell or something. And S indicates whether it supports a physics standard or not. Like that, every letter will have some indicate some capabilities of this particular shell. So among these capabilities, we mainly use history and interaction, and then this brace expansion is very, very important. Brace expansion, that concept I am dealing with now. Okay, so from here first it will take 1, and that it will combine with all these possible values. So 1 1 1 2 1 3 1 4 1 5. Again it will take 2 here, 2 1 2 2 2 3 2 4 2 5. So like that it will expand. Okay, brace expansion. Again, this concept will come in the next units also. Okay, so those are the some features of your while running, how to manage your process. For that we use that. Another feature we have, another concept we have is a dollar question mark. Say echo dollar question mark. This will give you the status of the last command that get executed. If the last command is executed successfully, it will give a status as 0. Suppose the last command executed has raised some error. Based on what type of error you got, that error code it will display. Say for example, cat blah. Okay, so there is no file called blah, so no such a file or directory. That is an error. So if you use a dollar question mark, so this means no file exists, means that error code for that file does not exist is 1. Okay, say for example, if we have another
Madam, why we need this, madam?
Like what type of, like when you are running your process, if your program terminated abnormally, your process has terminated abnormally, because of which reason it has terminated. Suppose you are transferring some amount from account A to account B. Okay, while running your program, so it has terminated some abnormally. So because of what, whether due to internet failure it has failed, or whether your account doesn't have the balance, that's why it has failed, or is there any some, for what reason it has failed. If you want to know that, if you know the error code, based on that error code you can say that because of this particular error it has stopped. So you can indicate the reason while running your application. So what type of error occurred, that you can able to know it using dollar question mark. Okay, say for example here I am running this particular process, sleep 30. Okay, so meanwhile I don't want to run it, I killed it using Control C. Okay, so that means previous process has not run successfully. So the error in this case, when you kill a running process, the error generated by is nothing but 130. Like that you will have the, suppose if your previous process runs successfully, you won't get any error code, so it will display 0. Suppose if your previous process has failed, so because of which reason it has failed, based on that it will generate the error code, your system will generate the error code. Okay, so based on that error code value you can mention what is the possible error that was happened there, because of that reason your process has failed. So you can say that. Okay, you can diagnose that.
Okay, madam.
Generally you will have the 256 error codes only. It will support only error codes up to 1 to 256. 0 means no error. Whereas the other error codes that it will generate will be from 1 to 256 only. Suppose if we have a your exit code, you even you can give the your own exit code. Exit some value. Suppose if you say exit 300, so that means you are exiting your process by specifying an error value of 300. That is the meaning of exit command. Exit and you specify the error code. Suppose if your error code is more than 256, so in that case, how it will generate the error code value is mod operation. If your exit code mod 256, it will give it as an error code. Say for example, I'll show you that. Echo so this will give the parent process ID. PS command, I run some PS command, semicolon, and exit 300. Some processes I am running with a semicolon, like combining multiple tasks. Okay, so the process ID, and then for PS command, this is the PS command, and it has logged out with an exit code of 300. Sorry, connection was lost. Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Okay. Suppose, so when you use the exit automatic, I think this exit code is like log out from the VM. Okay. So how you got here 300 means, I said exit codes will be from error codes will be from 1 to 256 only. Okay. So echo dollar question mark, if I use here, I think sorry, I'll give something else. Here 300, I'll give 301.
Ma'am, echo exit 300, will it give it?
I think exit means, I think it will come out of the so in that case, what error code it will generate? No, it will generate, say suppose exit 301 is the last command that get executed. No, so 301 mod 256 it will do. So in that case you will get 45. So if you use a immediate command that you use after this will be, suppose if it is a dollar question mark, then you will get the output error code as 45. Okay, because the maximum possible error codes are up to 256. If you give any number which is more than this, so it will do the mod operation with the 256. So that mod, what the mod operation will do, give the reminder after dividing with the 256. That value it will give it as an output. Okay, so
this will be the error code for that particular program.
Yeah, that command for this particular command, when it is running, you have used exit. No, so here it will generate an error code. What error code that gets generated is 45. How you got that 45 is this value mod 256.
Okay.
Madam, if you put
Yes.
exit, it will not go away, madam. Without number, exit.
But without number means we can't calculate this. I can't show you the error code value, no?
Okay.
So that number means that we can explicitly add our own status code.
Okay. So these are the some commands that we use to control your running process management. So at the end, let me discuss this
Ma'am, the VM issue will you solve now? I have just one problem actually.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. The virtual machine, I have just one problem. Can you solve it?
Like virtual machine problem. So just let me quickly complete this. I think only 5 to 10 minutes it will take. Then
Okay.
Software management, like this is nothing but how to install your required packages into your Linux. Whereas previously manually we used to install all the packages, but nowadays there are so many package management systems that are available. They will take care of installation automatically. Okay. There are two like package management systems, mainly RPM and deb. RPM package will support Red Hat Linux and SUSE Enterprise Linux, whereas deb package will support Debian. Okay, so in our virtual machine, the software which was running is this version of the Linux, Debian. Okay, Ubuntu is the like in our VM, we are running on a Ubuntu. Like there are so many flavors in the Linux operating system. All these are CentOS, Fedora, like OpenSUSE. All these are the different flavors of the Linux. So which flavor we are using is the Ubuntu. So Ubuntu, if you want to install something in the Ubuntu, we need to take this package management system, Debian management package management system. Okay, and each package will make use of so many architectures, like x86 architecture, 32-bit or 64-bit or ARM architecture. So it will use, even some of the Linux flavors doesn't use any architecture, no arc. So like that, it will make use of so many architectures. And while installing, they will make use of some tools like like RPM package will make use of a tool called yum to install your packages, whereas deb is used a tool called apt. So in that you will have a package called dpkg. Even you can use dpkg package to install something into your Debian, like Ubuntu. Like suppose you want to search out which packages are there in your which packages are installed in your system or not. To know those things, you can use this command apt cache. In this apt package, apt is this one, advanced package tool. Apt means advanced package tool. This you can use it to know the like what are the softwares or what are the different packages that were installed in your system. To know those, you can use this command apt cache space your package name. If you specify, it will show the details of that package that was installed. All the packages that were installed in your system will be shown. Okay, or if you want to see only a particular package, you can use show that package name you can give. Okay, so generally when it is showing a package, it will show what details of that package. It will show is name of the package, which version of that package you are using, and which release, and then which architecture it is using, like that. Well, if it is an RPM package, you will have an extension of .rpm. If it is a Debian package, you will have a .deb as the extension. Okay, and even there are some packages which are must and you should have, or there are some packages which are optional, which are some of them are important and some of them are standard. So like that, you will have a priorities to your packages. So whether, suppose if you use apt cache show some package name, that package will show you whether it is an important package or a standard package or it is an optional package. What is the package priority, it will show. Okay, these are the possible priorities for a package. And also there will be so many sections. The section will indicate whether that package, for what purpose we use it, whether it is a graphical user interface tool, or whether it is a web tool, or whether it is a normal utility package, or miscellaneous package, or is it a package related to mathematics. So like that, which to which categories of section it belongs to, that also it will show you. Okay. And suppose you want to check whether the package which we are installing, is it a authenticated one or not. Like suppose we are installing some package in our system that we have downloaded from internet. Okay, so whether that downloaded version, is it provided by the publisher, or after publishing someone has modified that version. So to know that, you can use a concept called checksums to authenticate whether it is a valid package or the right package or not. So if you confirm that it is a valid package, then only we need to install that into your system. Otherwise you may be attached with some error files or something, so that your system will be corrupted. Okay, so to check the authentication whether it is the correct version or not, correct thing or not, you can use checksums. There are different types of checksums. For security reason, we use MD5, SHA 256. Whereas MD5 checksum will be 128 bits long, whereas SHA1 will have a 160 bits long, whereas SHA 256 will have a 256 bit checksum it will give. So as the number of bits increases, it will have a more security. Your file will have the more security. This concept I will demonstrate it. Say for example, how to work with provide the security to your files, or how to check whether the file which we have is an authenticated file or not. Okay, say for example, if I create one file, say this is the file created by Lata, say for example, this output I am storing it in file 1. Okay, so what are the contents of file 1? Whatever we have written. Same thing, instead of LATH, this H I have modified. Instead of H, I have stored N, and that I am storing in file 2. Hello, am I audible, ma?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
So now if you look at these files, so there are two files, file 1, file 2, both are of same size. Okay, even if you display them, almost looking like same. There is, if you overlook it, that there is no difference between H and N if you overlook the file. So for seeing also it is looking same, and the sizes, everything, it is matching. Okay, so we cannot, like if it is a smaller file that I have created, you might be able to distinguish this. But a file which is having thousands and thousands of lines, if a small correction like this was done, so it is very difficult for us to identify whether it is the original file or whether it is a modified file version of that. Okay, so in such cases, if you want to confirm authentication whether the file is intact or not, for that you can calculate the checksum for that file. Say MD5 sum is the checksum created using MD5 algorithm. File 1 dot sh, file 1, I think this is the file created. So MD5 sum file 1. So it will create a 120 bit, is it 128 bit checksum. This is, each digit is a hexadecimal one. So this, if you 4 bits you'll have, so the total bits it will come to 128 bits. Okay, so same way you can create MD5 sum for file 2 also. So if you get if both files are same, you will get the same checksum for both the files. You will get the same checksum for both the files. If at least one character is changed, for smaller change in your file, you will have a large change in your checksum. See, for these two files, there is only a small change. Here we have H, here we have N. But in the checksum, you have a completely different checksums for both the files. So by seeing this, you can identify these files are not same. Okay, so you can able one is different from the other. You can, the same way you can even use SHA1. So this is nothing but a algorithm. MD5 is one algorithm, SHA1 is another algorithm to create the checksums. Okay, SHA1 sum file 1, and this will create a checksum with I think 160 bits checksum. Okay, whereas see here, these checksums are also different. And even you can create SHA 256.
Madam.
Hello.
Madam.
Yes.
If
yes.
there is a same file, if there is a space is different, two are having different spaces.
Even for a space also, it will give a different checksums. A minute change will create a different, like
Madam, capital T and another one is small t. That also will make the difference.
Yeah, that also will make so much difference. Okay, whereas this is a 256 bit checksum. As the number of bits increases, it will give you the more security to your algorithm, like a file.
Ma'am, one thing, how you can compare it, like what is the command we should write to compare this checksum of two files?
Diff
okay.
File 1,
file 1, comma
file
2.
2.
Oh, space field. Okay.
If both are same, that will give nothing. Okay, suppose if, let me create another file. Okay, so with this I am going to create another file. File 2 and file 3 are same. Okay, diff file 2, file 3. As there is no difference, nothing will be displayed. If
then,
there is
then why, madam, then why we need MD suffice? Shall SHA1 sum.
Like so when you are transmitting the data from one end to the another, like in the internet you are sharing the data, so the sender will send some file, okay, and the receiver will receive the file. Meanwhile, say for example, so that file was transmitted through internet, So there might be some intruder who attack that file and then changes something in that and then send back to the receiver. So receiver has to confirm whether that is the file which is sent by the original sender or not. So in that case, what happens is,
then he can write different no, madam, DIFF.
Different.
Different
But
is F1, F2. Then you will get the answer.
no, but if the file
But
is very big, then
no, wait. He will know only one file. He will know like the file which he has received, that only he will know. Original file he doesn't know. Okay. So in such a case, what happens, how we will protect here is, the sender, the original sender will send the file along with the hash code or the checksum value. He will send the original file along with the checksum.
Okay, madam.
Suppose if the file is modified in between, at the receiving end, for the receiver file, he will also calculate the checksum. Whether the received checksum and the calculated checksum, if both are same, then he will ensure that this is the file sent by the original sender. If the checksums are different, he can ensure that someone has modified this file.
Okay, madam. Okay, madam.
That way, like while you are transmitting the data over public network, we to get the security, to provide the security, we use those checksums.
Okay, madam. It is a 13-14 digit number, no, madam.
Yeah, whatever it may be, a small space or a single digit or whatever, a small change in the original data will generate a big change in your checksum.
Okay.
Because we are using so many filters, like those algorithms will have so many layers, 80 rounds or 120 rounds or 256 rounds, it will go through the data and then generate the checksum. So for minute change in your original, there will be so much of change in your checksums.
Okay, madam. Okay.
Next, if you want to install some software or package, install or upgrade or remove the packages that were installed in your system, you should have a sudo user permission. Only sudoers can only able to install a new package into your system or remove some unwanted packages from your system, or upgrade from one version to the another version. So those, if you want to do it in your system, you have to have a sudo user permission. A sudo user is something like a owner sort of thing. Okay. So every command that you want to run should run with the sudo by adding sudo command. Like here, I think they give. Suppose if you want to run this particular command, dpkg is one package. Sorry. Suppose you want to install this particular package. Here in this place, you will have a original package name, say nmap or something. Okay. So dpkg is the command. You have to run that with -l option. So this is the command you need to run to install this particular package into your system. So before this, you should have a sudo sudo space, and then you have to run this command. Then only it will run. Like you are running this command like a sudo user. So if you are not, so when you run a command with the sudo, it will ask the user ID and password. If you give the correct user ID password, admin user ID password, then only it will run that command. Otherwise, it will say that you don't have the permission to run this command. Okay.
One question: when you install these packages,
Yeah.
so sometimes the packages size is very huge, and it will take a lot of like the size in your memory in your laptop. So that time, if you want to deinstall that package, or if you want to first of all check how much is that package took that memory in your system, how we can check that? Only that package related, not like a C type.
Like I think there will be a command size or some command you search out. I exactly don't know.
Okay, but there is no something like dpkg minus some option.
Like some option and then size of the space and then package name. If you give, it will show you the size.
Okay.
So if you want only, then if you have that sufficient memory only, you can install it.
Okay.
So you go through this with the professors, like he has shown everything installation using DPKG package, DPKG package management system. Using this, he has installed every shown you how to install a package and how to remove the package, how to upgrade the package. Everything he has shown. Okay, so you go through.
One more question.
Yeah.
For this, we have to install Debian and Red Hat.
No need. Any one is enough. Like either using RPM package, you can use Red Hat, or you can use either YUM. Like the advanced version of this is nothing but identified YUM. Or you can use using Debian package, you can use DPKG and then install Ubuntu. When you are installing Ubuntu, we use this package tools. Okay. So based on whether you are using a Red Hat or Ubuntu, or there are so many Linux flavors, no? Which Linux flavor you are using, based on that you have to use the corresponding package tool.
Okay. APT we use, right?
Yeah.
APT in general
APT
for Ubuntu.
is the one which you use with Ubuntu.
So sometime online it shows that whether do you want .rpm or .deb.
Yes.
So we need
like,
to check which one you want.
Yes. If you are installing a Red Hat, you have to select RPM. If you are installing a Ubuntu, you have to select a deb.
Because for example, like Visual Studio code, there are like on websites mentioned .deb and one is .rpm. So now I understood that RPM is, if my system is Ubuntu, I should select DEB instead of RPM.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So this installation and all you check with the professor's video. So I can't demonstrate that because I don't have the sudo user permissions in this VM. Okay. And
Madam,
my system is not
mentioned package matches pattern. What is pattern, madam?
Hello?
It is written there. Next page, packages matches pattern. Next page, next slide, madam. Please. Next slide.
DKPG command.
Next slide, madam. Next one.
DKPG command, ma'am, where it was.
Keep.
Like for installing, you can use either apt command. This is one. Inside the app, there will be so many commands. DPKG is one of that.
Ma'am, he is asking about the options given to DPKG command.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. You are coming close. Here, madam. Whose names match the pattern? What does it mean, madam?
Like here, suppose you want to see all the package, list out all the packages which starts with the name N.
Okay.
So you might have in your system, you might have the files. Say here, I want to list out all the files which starts with F.
Okay.
Okay. So in that case, only it will show only the files which starts with F. Suppose if I have some file which starts with a D, it won't be shown. So like that, here we give us some pattern. It will show only those packages that matches with that pattern.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Somebody asked the virtual machine
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
problem. So
yes, ma'am.
Others can leave out. Those who have the problems, try to share your screen.
Okay, ma'am. Can I share, ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, I have generated the public key actually, but when I am going inside this and pasting my, it is showing something like this. Right.
Yeah. Have you submitted that? Yes, YES. You type YES. Yeah, enter. Okay.
Okay, then after that I can use it. Right?
You connected now.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Okay. Thank you.
Ma'am, I had a doubt in week 2 GRPA 1. Should I ask here or should I ask in the TA session?
Yeah, TA session you asked me.
Okay, ma'am.
Can I stop?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.